balancing pole is 43 pounds. That's why my hands are falling asleep.
Wow.
Nick, what type of weight work do you do? Do you do weight training or?
I do. I train in the gym as well, leading up to an event. I haven't for the last couple of weeks because of this, but.
You had airboats out yesterday. What was the maximum wind speed that you were
91 miles an hour yesterday.
What do you think the maximum you could take before you maybe have?
I haven't even pushed that. I've actually walked a little lower with mats under me in 120 mile an hour winds, which is, it's hard to even lift your foot up without it flying off.
Yeah.
But yesterday, even at 91, it was hard to keep my foot in line with the wire to get it to the next spot.
Does the pole become a liability under the wind in that?
It becomes extremely important, vital. It gives me time to recover.
And the young lady that was with you on the wire before is?
My mom.
Oh, wow. I thought it was your sister.
I don't know if I can say that with her.
Are you going to have to stop going across the Grand Canyon?
May I have to what?
Are you going to have to stop in the middle going across the Grand Canyon?
No, I've trained to make it the entire distance.
How long's the distance?
Longer. It's about 1,400 feet, 13 to 1,400.
Is there an estimated time for it?
This
How
is
long will it
1,000
take you?
feet long. It'll take me about between 20 and 30 minutes, probably. Yes.
Walking where you do, but one foot in front of the other, not natural for your hips. And I was watching, what do you do to compensate for that when you're not?
Start when you're 2 years old.
She wants to do it, but
Here, I have it for you.
Thank you.
what anchors the wire on both sides of the Grand Canyon?
What angle?
What anchors it?
Oh, what anchors it? We actually have micropiles we drilled 12 feet down into the rock.
I don't like the looks of the pedestal that the wire's coming over after it comes out of the rock.
You don't like what?
That's a poor design.
What is it?
The pedestal that your cable's going over top of after it comes up out of the rock.
Oh, okay. You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That's poor design. I could have designed something.
I've spent $500,000 on engineers that specialize in this sort of thing. I hope they know what they're doing. If not, I want a refund.
How big of a drop is the cable in the Grand Canyon?
I think it'll be about 17 feet in the middle. Over such a span, though, you don't really notice it. Here, the ends are about 32, and down low, it's about 12. So it's about 20 feet here. So, and I don't really feel it. It's actually much more comfortable to walk uphill than downhill. Because the wire's, of course, further down as I'm walking.
And will you get much motion sideways or
No, the majority of it is the inertia that I put into the cable, which is the steps that I put. That's why I have to change my pattern. If I don't, it'll put a wave in the cable, and you saw, and I'll try to change my pace and kind of, as the wire comes up, push it back down. But side to side, there's not a whole lot. There's some, but it's very minimal because I'm not pushing it sideways. I'm pushing it up and down, redirecting it to a vertical motion.
How long is it going to take you to cross?
You didn't get
How long
blown
did you
off.
say? It'll take me about 20 to 30 minutes.
That's all.
You didn't get blown off by the airboat yesterday, though. Huh?
No, I didn't. That'd be a bad thing. There was a record underneath me.
Oh, yeah.
Did you put the cart before the horse? Wasn't the Niagara Falls more difficult?
No, I take every walk that I use as serious as the last. Niagara Falls, actually I had a TV deal 4 years ago to walk across the Grand Canyon that fell through because of financial problems on the network's part. So my plan was to do the Grand Canyon first, but then by the time we went to seek permission for Niagara Falls, it came through and I had to change 2 laws in 2 countries to walk over Niagara Falls. And they only gave me a year time to do it in. So by the time US agreed, I only had 3 months left by the time Canada agreed. So I had to do it before I did this one. But they're all just as dangerous. My great-grandfather did walks around the world, many amazing walks, and he lost his life on one that was about 100 feet high and 200 feet across, very minuscule in comparison to the other walks that he'd done. So they're all just as dangerous as the last, and I respect them all just as much and train just as much for them.
Right, but you're not interested in seeing him this soon.
Excuse me?
You're not interested in seeing your grandfather this soon.
You don't want to see your grandfather this soon.
That's correct. My great-grandfather lost his life in part because of rigging error, but also in part because he was 73 years old and had a double hernia and an injured collarbone.
And he still
Had no
walked
strength. He went down to the wire, and if you watch the video, he grabbed on here and he couldn't hold on. So really, it had to do with his physical ability, and because of that, we've learned that there's a time to retire. For sure.
What will be after the Grand Canyon?
Last time everybody saw you in the circus.
Yeah.
Okay,
He'll tell us on the 23rd.
and you were signing autographs, and I said, Nick, can I touch you? You said, yes, I touched you. Then my son says, don't ever wash your hand, Mom.
Well, I hope you did not take his advice.
I haven't washed my hand since.
Well, you did take his advice. Touch me with your other hand this time.
Are you already planning something after the Grand Canyon?
I am, and I'll talk about it a bit after that walk on June 23rd on the Discovery Channel.
Okay.
When I saw your great grandfather walk that wire,
Here in Sarasota.
is that did you ever experience that? Or was that
Well, I have, and really I'd say the roughest walk I've ever done is I walked over the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a distance of about 1,400 feet, and it was about 200 feet up. And halfway out it started to rain, and I also didn't wear my shoes. We ordered the cable without any grease, and when we got there it had grease on it. So I chose not to wear my wire shoes, and I walked in socks, and about halfway out it started to rain. And it was rigged very uniquely. It was rigged with our stabilizers only going off one way, because one side was just the water, the other side we had a bridge. So because of that, the wire moved really weird under my feet, and that was probably the hardest walk that I'd ever done. And that moved somewhat like that wire under my great-grandfather. But again, he was 73, and if he was my age when he walked that, there's no question. I went back and recreated that exact walk with my mother 2 years ago that took his life. So there's no question that I would have made it across, and not in any arrogant way, but it's just the truth. He was just physically, he should have retired.
How high was your wire when you were 2?
How high was it? I started 2 feet off the ground.
Good question.
All right, I'm going to get into the other side, and then I'll sign autographs and answer questions in the tent. So thank you.
Alright, folks, don't forget to stop by the White Tent here. We have t-shirts, you get the Grand Canyon t-shirt, books, and photographs and books. Also have the special anonymous flower poster out here today. Some of you may know the 1-year anniversary of Nick's great walk across the falls. You can be snatching it over there. You can also come down into